With some foods, it feels like there couldn't have been a time when they weren't around. Bread, peanut butter, chocolate chips, and of course, raisins. They're sweet, wrinkled reminders of simpler times. A handful in a trail mix, a box in a school lunch, a sprinkle in a fresh-baked loaf of grandma's cinnamon bread. Raisins are one of those quiet constants, and for generations, we've known the story by heart. Start with a grape, add a little sunshine, and let nature do the rest. The transformation from grape to raisin feels like it was just meant to be. After the turn of the 20th century, California became the beating heart of raisin country, a place where innovation, family farms, and the golden sun converged to create a symbol of American goodness. And by the mid-20th century, raisins weren't just food, they were optimism in a box. And for the last 100 years, we've believed this story, but like so many stories we were told as kids, could this one also be a fairy tale?
They say the bushes are gone. Mine grew back this spring. Smaller, sure, but they're not grapes. Grapes don't grow like this. Grapes don't grow like this.
I'm telling you, Frank, real raisins don't come from grapes. They come from these, look at them, little beans. I brought the seeds.
That doesn't look like any grape seed I've ever seen.
Exactly.
Because it's not.
The men knocked down my door. They burned my fields. Why am I the one being detained? This doesn't make any sense. They were my raisin bushes.
Well, they don't need nothing but the sun to keep growing.
They told my husband to hand over the seeds. Every last one.
My bushes kept growing.
Now that they got the lead and the fuel, nearly all the raisin bushes are gone.
Some of us still know the truth, and they can't keep us all quiet.
One of my earliest memories was playing in my grandpa's garage. I came across this really weird small bag of seeds. So I went to go open it, and he stopped me. He said, "Don't let the raisin seeds out." And that really left an impression on me. Up until a couple years ago, I just thought raisins came from the raisin plant. But my reality was shattered as I was watching this funny British show that I love.
I was 40 before I realized that raisins are in fact grapes.
How did you find out?
I was eating, you can get a pack of assorted
nuts and raisins.
And I was with my wife, and I said, what are raisins? What are they? It never occurred to me.
So what did you think they were?
I thought they were raisins.
And you just thought that they grew like that?
Exactly.
So here I am just finding out the whole world believes this. You're telling me that raisins just come from dried grapes? We have dried apricots, dried cranberries, dried blueberries, dried apples. For most dried fruits, the format is dried and then the name of the fruit. Yet you're telling me that a dried grape is called a raisin?
Most of us have never asked these questions, and why would we? Dried grapes have always been called raisins. And while dried plums go by a different name, prunes, that distinction is easy to explain. It comes from Latin, where prunum simply means plum. But the Latin word for grape is uva, and that difference matters.
I couldn't stop asking questions, and I went down a bit of a rabbit hole. I called up some old linguist friends, because everybody has old linguist friends, and they told me there's a common misconception about the word raisin. Many think it's French in origin, but it's actually a culmination of ancient Egyptian and Aramaic, the Ra being Egyptian for god of sun, and the Zun being Aramaic for nourishment. Raisin, raisin.
And this explanation almost makes sense as a name for grapes, except grapes aren't exactly nourishing. They're delicious, sure, but
you could survive on them maybe a couple weeks or months at best, but they're mostly sugar and water. They have a little bit of vitamin A and K, but they are void of all other essential vitamins and minerals. They have no fats, no protein. That's not nourishment, that's candy.
So why would one of the least nutritious natural foods on the planet be billed as nourishing when it's effectively no more nourishing than a Jolly Rancher?
I started to dig through some old biology textbooks, and I came across a page in the Mansfield rubric with a clear illustration of this bush, and underneath was the label raisin bush. And this changed everything.
The Mansfield Rubric was a monumental textbook written in 1804 by Lester Mansfield and his team of anthropologists. This document sought to outline the function and role of virtually all known natural foods grown and eaten all throughout human history.
Up until this point, I was questioning my sanity because all I had was this distant childhood memory of my grandpa saying, "Don't spill the raisin seeds," right? But here it is, undeniable proof that the raisin bush did exist. What was weird was, this was the only entry in the entire section on the Tanz-roofed region of the Sahara Desert. Now, why is that weird? That's weird because nothing grows there. This is one of the most arid places on Earth where nothing survives. So why am I seeing a bush here, let alone a raisin bush? If raisins come from grapes, what the hell is this?
If real raisins existed, if they grew on bushes and thrived where little else could they have also provided substantial nourishment? And if so, why don't they exist anymore? Well, the answer, it turns out, might not be rooted in botany, but instead, the answer to these questions might be found in the root of all evil.
They tried to burn these, they forgot about my seed.
Lead levels are almost low enough to start planting them again. Then we can finally have real raisins again.
Can't be out here. No cameras. Put it down. Right now.
Oh my God, I think this is a true raisin bush.